Welcome back, everybody, to VCT EMEA. I am now joined by Ash and Shadow. We're in the fan zone right now. Yeah, all these people came just to listen to you talk, Shadow. I made sure that everybody was going to be here to witness this. You finally won. You did it.
Yeah, finally.
Yeah?
Thank God. Thank God. Oh, yeah.
Feels good?
Yeah, it feels amazing.
I mean, Starkster was talking about how you had extra motivation because you wanted to knock out Vitality. Is that true?
I mean, it's always... No, it's not that nice to do that, but it was fun to win, to be honest, and we needed a win for this split, so...
Yeah, you definitely did. We have some highlights of your individual performance, because we talked about your IGLing, you know, taking up this new role, but today you were popping off. I felt like you hit every single shot, and how good were you feeling on the server?
Really amazing. Like, last week was not feeling that good, so this one was good for my... Yeah, for me.
I think we have to address something now, Ash. We finally have him here with us. What is this crosshair?
Yeah, we have to talk about it. We have to talk about it.
It's the best crosshair in the world.
I mean,
That's it.
when you used to rock, I think it wasn't this one that you used to rock with. It was like a really fat one back in the day, and we thought you were trolling. So is this
was
for
the
real?
same, yeah, that I had back in the day. It's the exact same.
What do you think, Ash? He's able to frag out on that crosshair.
You know what?
It's life on hard mode, I feel like.
You still have the center dot in the middle. You still have the center dot in the middle.
Yeah.
Oh, is that what you're looking at? You're looking at the dot. You're not actually looking
yeah,
at
like
the...
close range is the big circle, and for long range is the dot. So
okay, there's method to the madness.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thank you for explaining that. Now I don't hate it as much. But of course, with our result, Vitality have been eliminated from playoffs. I think, Ash, we're all kind of surprised that it happened the way that it did, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think without a doubt, as far as what the expectations were because of previous results, it was an upset in this matchup. But were you expecting to be so dominant on the first map that we saw and then also on this last one?
I mean, we prepared a lot for split, so we were ready for that, and we came in like really hot, so that was amazing. And Icebox, we really tried to invent some new stuff for this this match as well, so we try to improve every week. So,
are you surprised they wanted to start on attack on split? Because I was very confused about that.
Yeah, we were surprised about that, but I would like to start attack because then you can roll over them. But we kind of did it in defense anyway.
I mean, you started every map on defense, which again, you were saying to me, you weren't super comfortable on the defense. It wasn't your best half. So was there any element of like, oh gosh, we got to play 3 defense halves right off the bat this match?
No, it was more that we wanted that. Like, then we can start off with defense and then we can end on the attack.
Yeah, smart. Definitely smart. Of course, I also have to update you guys with the fact, with that win, you've done Kaquka a massive favor. KC are not now locked for playoffs. I see some Gentlemates jerseys over there. Maybe you guys are not the most happy about that. But do you have a preference, you know, if it had to be KC or Vitality? Because the whole thing was in your hands.
I mean, I love Magnum, you know, so... He's a great guy, of course. I want him to be in playoffs.
Oh, he's got to buy you dinner or something, because as you guys can see, we finally have a team that locked after all this time, 4 weeks of not knowing who's going to playoffs and who isn't. KC have finally locked. Ash, I know you're a huge fan, so you must be really happy about this. So feel free to thank Shadow for his efforts.
Thank you. You know what? I'm going to shake your hand for it. I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
The KC #1 fangirl.
You know, I mean, since like kickoff, I was, you know, tooting the horns of KC in that kind of sense. But I mean, today, did you guys feel that also there was the opportunity to play a little bit more loose, a little bit more like focused just on your own game and doing your own thing?
Yeah, it was kind of the same as the Carmine Corp game, because then we had no pressure at all. And that's, it is some nerves in the team, but now we don't have any nerves, so we can just play our game, and I feel like we play amazing when we play our game. So.
I mean, since you're so good at playing games, we have a quick game here. We're going to make it nice and fast. I'm going to give you a statement about Fnatic versus NAVI, because that is the game that's coming up next. And I want you to tell me if you think this statement is truth or just full cope, okay? I want to get your takes on this, and I believe we are going to start. I have them written down here. We're going to start with a NAVI question. You used to play with NAVI, you know some of these boys. Yeah. And the statement is, Shao is better on smokes. It's better for NAVI that Shao plays smokes than Angel. Oh!
I don't think anyone's going to deny that. At least they have smokes past the mid-round.
I mean, for me, Angel is just too aggressive to play smart.
Yeah.
It's the most important agent to have in the late game.
Okay,
Or
what
in
if
late
I
game.
what if I flipped it around and say it's better for Navi for Angel to play initiators? Is that truth or cope?
Yeah, true.
Oh, you still both agree with that?
Yeah, I think so, because when you're thinking about Angel on an initiator, he is throwing his utility first, and then he's at least being like that second entry in, getting those trades.
All right, okay, we'll go with the second statement here. Fnatic have a terrible map pool. I mean, you played against them. Oh, okay, you were both wavering a little bit there, so why did you choose cope?
Cope is no right. Or like, they have a good map pool.
Oh, they have a good map pool, so that statement is kind of cope. I'll hold this for you while you you hold your...
I think they have a good map pool. They can play every map. Maybe they play a bit too basic on every map, but that's it.
What about you, Ash?
I mean, realistically, their permabans just sunset, and we haven't seen Ascent, sure, during the first split, but they played it during kickoff. It was a map that was really good for them last year as well. So I think just because we haven't seen the depth in the number of maps that have actually been shown, it doesn't mean that their map pool is bad.
Okay, well, I'm gonna have one more question, and I would love to hear your take on this one, Shadow. IGLs have to frag. It's important for them to frag out. Oh, okay, well, as the actual IGL here, I'm gonna
don't
ask for
want
your
pressure.
opinion first.
I don't want pressure at all. But I think it's important to frag for like, you don't need to massively frag. Like, you don't need to top frag, but I think you need to put up some numbers.
It's like a bonus if you top frag, right? Yeah. And Ash, you went for cope here.
I mean, I agree with what Shadow's saying, but I also think that right now, with the resurgence of a lot of rookies coming into the fray, we're seeing a big shift in how we're expecting every single player to step up. Obviously not in every single game, but if your IGL is consistently bottom fragging, that also makes it difficult.
Then it's hard, yeah.
Well, we have Shadow here, but another special guest in the arena with us. Guys, you're gonna love this interview. Oh, this is a real treat we have here at VCT EMEA. I'm now joined by the one and only Coach Mini. Welcome back, Mini. This is like a homecoming, I feel like, for us at least. I gotta ask you straight off the bat, what have you been up to? It's been a while since we've had you here.
What's the implication here?
No, what have you been doing?
Assistant coach and just not in Berlin, I guess. Just working from home. Yeah.
How's that differ from your experience as the head coach from before?
I mean, it's a lot less stressful, I'll be honest, yeah. Like, the reality of head coaching is just, you know, it's 6 days a week, 12 hours a day. Obviously, I'm doing as much as I can as assistant, but trying to reel it back a little bit.
Yeah, let's talk about that real quick, because I think people are very curious as to what you've been doing, you know, since taking a step back. Why are you laughing?
I'm just a fraud
they
now.
want to know.
I just paycheck still. I do nothing. They fly me in last second for Berlin, and if we win today,
it's the mini buff. It's the mini buff. But what kind of input have you been doing with the team? Because obviously I know before you were kind of in charge of everything, and the one-on-ones, the strats, the pistols, what have you. So what have you been focusing on now?
Okay, like I'd say that I'm a bit less involved in macro from the ground up, if you know what I mean. So like trying to let Elma and Jake kind of find their groove together and trying to make sure they're doing that together, because there's no point of me kind of doing what I was doing last year, you know. So I'm very much the assistant, I guess, at this point, and I'm just trying to support, like give feedback more so than create, if that makes sense. Just give feedback, and then a lot of just dirty work, preparation,
anti-strats, that kind of stuff.
And that kind of thing, yeah, and just get feedback. But this week I've been kind of like hardcore, like scrims and anti-strat this week. So
more stressful now.
Yeah, this week was stressful because you know you need to be stressful when you know it counts now. So you know,
a lot of people have been theorizing what's different or what's the same about Fnatic this time around. Obviously, the boys are still the same. You retain the same roster. So, in your opinion, what's the difference? What's been going on? Why haven't you been as dominant?
I think there's two major things I'd say. Like the first thing's like, you know when like a band comes out with like a banging debut album?
Yeah.
And then like the second one's hard. Like this is like our second year, you know what I mean? It's always going to be a bit more difficult. But I think one thing that people don't quite realize is that we've had a lot of personnel change technically. Like me, SLK, our assistant coach, Anders hasn't been around, and our performance coach have all changed or left. So like it's not like Elma's come in and he's now a problem. It's like we've had a lot of change going on behind the scenes. So I think it's about kind of realizing that, I guess, and kind of, trying to get our system back a little bit.
Work with what you got now, basically.
Yeah. And hopefully, figure out where the holes are, I guess. Yeah.
And lastly, I know Sliggy is probably watching this. He's going to be delighted to see your face again on his stream. So anything you want to say to Sligster? I think that's your camera.
He needs to get on, like me and him are doing a project together, right? And he's been slacking, so.
I can't believe
it. I'm joking. He's not been slacking, I've been slacking. No, just shout out to the Slug Club. Get your slugs in the chat, everyone. Slug Club Hooray. No, Slug Club Hooray. That's
a new thing.
That's the new one.
All right. Thank you for your time, Minnie. Make sure you guys drop some slug approves in there for him as well. And good luck today.
Thank you.
Oh, not just a slug approves. I believe Finesse is watching as well. So what's up, Finesse? But yeah, Minnie, I feel like you shared a lot there about why he thinks things are not being as dominant. Do you agree with that statement, maybe?
Yeah, it's hard to be dominant all the time in this game, I think. So yeah, I agree.
And I mean, we also heard from Minnie about how there are a lot of background changes for the other staff as well. How much do you feel that can also affect the team?
I mean, I think having different coaches and everything is super different. Like everything will be different, how you approach the game, how you approach like work, how much you're gonna work, how much you're gonna have a tech, like yeah, everything is.
Well, that's enough from us. It's time to bring out the two teams. A huge rivalry here in the VCT EMEA. It's Fnatic versus NAVI. On the Fnatic, they are back on this stage, and today it will be do or die. A win here will secure them a playoff spot and the possibility of reclaiming their throne in VCT EMEA. But if they want to get there, they got to take down a very, very familiar opponent. 9 times these two have faced each other in VCT, and it's NAVI, of course. The record, it does go in Fnatic's favor, but this NAVI has been the best team we've had this entire year, and it's the same story for them. A win here, and they will be going to playoffs. You saw Minnie on stream a little bit earlier, but it's time to bring out the coaches here. It's Elmer Putty, of course, going up against Eric, an opponent Eric isn't as familiar with. It's always been Minnie standing on the other side of this, so it must be nice for him to be able to fist bump somebody that's taller than him for once, but that's enough flaming. That's enough flaming. We're going to take a look at the map vetoes real quick. We played that Truth or Cope. The reason I feel like Fnatic's map pool is terrible against NAVI is in the past, when they have beaten them, they had Haven, they had Fracture, they never lost Icebox, and this time around, those maps might not be here, and Shadow, they have a permaban of Sunset as well, so I feel like NAVI have the edge. There we go, the Icebox is gone too.
It's true, like having a permaban is never good for your veto, so it just starts off like that.
Yeah, and Ash, Fnatic picked Breeze. I mean, Lotus is there, Bind is there, they pick Breeze.
Yeah, this is a pretty interesting, the way that this map pool has and like pans out and whatnot, and then you also have that split ban coming in later for Fnatic, something that they've floated into that second ban pretty consistently, but I will say that this map pool currently is definitely leading NAVI heavy.
I mean, NAVI always wins on Ascent, right? That's such a good map for them, Shadow.
Yeah, Ascent is really good for them, and I really like the pick of Bind for NAVI as well. I think they are favorites on the Bind for sure.
I mean, you played against Fnatic on Bind, so you think they could have a chance perhaps against NAVI?
Yeah, I played a bit against NAVI on Prax as well, and they're kind of good on that map.
They got some cool stuff going on. Okay, we got a bit of insight here.
It's gonna be amazing to watch this, I think.
You think we're gonna go to map 3?
Yeah, let's hope for it. Let's hope for it.
You're hoping for a map 3 here, but let's talk about that Breeze pick. The interesting thing is, like I said, they played against each other so many times at this point, but they have never played each other on Breeze. This will be the first time we see Fnatic versus NAVI, and we got to look towards players like Durka, right? Shadow, for him to kind of pop off here.
Yeah, he usually is amazing on the map.
Angel. He does this, right?
Yeah.
He does this.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that's amazing.
What do you guys think about this?
It's gonna be crazy. He's gonna fly. That's all I'm gonna say about that. It's gonna be cool.
You know what? I'm actually not that mad about it, because we saw him playing Omen on Breeze over in kickoff, and he was just walking out everywhere, pushing mid all the time. I like this change for him.
But this without Viper is gonna be hard.
That's
It's gonna be hard for them. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, you think Fnatic might have a chance?
Yeah, now. like no Viper, it's gonna be hard.
If
They
you
need to have some special stuff here.
All right, brilliant. Okay, we're ready to get into game. Thank you so much, Shadow. Congratulations
you.
once again. Thank you, Ash, as well. I'm just going to jump right in. I cannot wait to see Mitch and Tom's reaction to this.
Well, this is exciting, Tom. For once, Angel can go down first, and we're not going to be upset. This is great.
Well, there'd be a few other things that maybe I'm upset about. Look, I'm perfectly fine with an Astra being run on this map.
Sure.
I'm perfectly fine with running a double duelist on this map.
Sure.
I am not perfectly fine with both. That's where I think they've cooked a little bit, and I agree with Shadow. Not running a Viper on this map, unheard of. You don't do, maybe a few teams were like, maybe we do it with Arbor, but not like this. So I want to see what ideas they've got. Navi always cook. Sometimes it's bad.
Someone read the patch notes and thought it was this week. Well, let's see what Navi has got cooked up for us. This is going to be an exciting match, a unique one, if nothing else, and a historic one. That's for goddamn sure. Fnatic on the defense, starting this one out in a little bit of aggression. They've already gotten into elbow. Dirk is in spot, and he's going to TP back to B, but they're forcing this aggro on the wrong side of the map. And the question is, will Fnatic get that read quick enough to make any sort of adjustment? Navi, on the other hand, they are pumping the brakes, waiting for someone to overpeak, waiting for a mistake to be made. They'll have to make a choice eventually. I am intrigued to see how Angel makes his way onto sites, because that Viper wall is essential for almost all the setups that we see coming through for Yoru. There have to be ideas, and, well, this team's never afraid to try something wacky.
No, straight away, you're going to have the smokes, getting them across. Not going to have anything in sort of late round utility. That's going to be one of the bigger issues that they'll have here. Shock darts put through, but not really going to be able to die too much. And already look at Xiao lurking his way through the backlines. The first kill finally onto the board, and it goes the way of Navi. In fact, so does absolutely everything. Only going to be 2 remaining. Leo at least will be able to find 1. But they've got to watch out for the man lurking in the backlines. Even if they manage to find a kill up front, I don't think it's going to matter.
Now at this stage, there's nothing to be done by Chronicle. It's only a matter of time. Lined up and ready to take him down. 1-0 for Navi, and a convincing start. They found the space, and it was wide open as well. Again, this is an area that Fnatic put a lot of presence on B, so the A site's that little bit easier to get onto. From that point, though, it's all about Zipan. Nothing but clean shots out of this guy dancing around those pyramids.
Yeah, pest. I think something that needs to be brought up as well is this match has more stakes than a lot of others. Not only we talk about qualification to the playoffs, both of these teams will get that with a victory. Obviously, then life goes into other teams' hands, although I feel like both these teams are in okay positions, but not the best. But also, Boaster versus Angel. This has been going on since 2020. These two guys have been facing off against each other. I'll say at least in recent times, Fnatic have probably had most of the wins.
Oh, yeah.
They had most of the wins in general last year. But it's looking like 2024 is different for everybody. Navi having a loss last week to BBL should tell you all you need to know. And the question is, who's going to be waiting for other teams to do them a favor, and who is going to make it straight through into the playoffs?
Yeah, a long time ago, Tom, it would be nothing but these two teams in the grand final again and again. This
Don't
was
forget
the
G2.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's what I was going to say, right? This is like the second iteration of Valorant. The first was a year of G2, 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 and then we moved to these two battling for it. Angel was constantly winning those battles, and that was only weeks to months after we had heard Boaster say...
people on the street.
Yeah, as Angel said, he just picked those guys up off the street. And you know, for Boaster, he used to say, I can't wait to play against Angel. I want to be considered an IGL who's up there in terms of respect with a player like him. Have a team like his that can stand as one of the best within the region. And well, that dream was achieved, but lost more recently. Looking to reclaim that former glory, and no better way than to defeat those old rivals.
I think that's both teams, really. Like, the Navi have been one to looking to try and get back Ardis in the roster again. For now, though, it's just about what damage can be done. Only going to have themselves the pistols. They stacked the B site. Have managed to garner a Guardian, at least for a second. And you have to bear in mind the way that Navi plays is those 3 rifles, couple of pistols. And one of those rifles is currently in the hands of Althea. Looking to try and take anybody down with him, but more importantly, try and remove that gun from play. Angel's given up his position, the shot not quite connected, and he won't even win that fight either. Eventually, they get it over the line, but are they actually going to be able to retrieve that? I don't even think Sugetsu tried to run for it, no?
No, he was never going to make it there. No dash on the Cypher, so unlucky. Another weapon lost and decent damage done. Yeah, Fnatic get off to an okay start, but this is really where the the meat and potatoes is. The rifle's out, and you get to capitalize on any damage done. With 15 seconds before those barriers go up, much different look out of this squad in the defense. A presence, 4 players around this area, and it looks like one's going to be rotating back. It's the Viper, leaving the Viper wall for a potential retake on A, and of course to make things that little bit more awkward for them. It also helps them out massively on mid. You know, you got to commit a player to controlling this section of the map, or you're going to have much more awkward rotates and positions held by Fnatic late in the round.
Well, the thing that's going to be interesting, especially for Na'Vi, is only having this Astra available for those smokes. It means that your hits, you basically get 1 attempt.
Yeah.
Like, okay, you can play slow around the map, you can look for these openers, but you get 1 attempt and execute. If that fails, you don't have the smokes to do it anymore. So it definitely has a high level of risk, but a decent amount of variance that they can try and pull in. For now, it is that slow default. They've still got 4 rifles. It's only the one that was lost from Xiao in the previous rounds. There's still a lot of danger for Fnatic in this one, and they're playing it very passive indeed. No mid presence other than the slight jiggle peek coming out from Chronicle, and eventually, with nothing really found, Na'Vi are going to have to build into that take.
If they were trying to bait an early rotation, it's not going to work this time around. There was no gate crash down for Durka, and even now, his gate crash, I'm not sure if it's intended, but it didn't make it all the way through, so much more passive fallback keeps him around this site for a fight early, and Chronicle doubling up on the angle. They weren't ready for it, weren't expecting there to be another player around there. Angel, he's stuck destroying utility, and the fight won by Chronicle leaves them in a very tough spot. Still a pistol on Xiao, who will be quickly taken down, and Chronicle's looking to get that a little bit more. Although it's Durka to steal it away, the round goes to Fnatic flawlessly.
It's an Andaluthia flawless. I'll say I'm pretty sure that Durka stole that kill in more ways than one. He completely blinded his teammate and then got the kill. But
his kill.
Hey, he took it, and that's all that matters. The openers as well, the 1-2 punch, and I think also just the fact that the stun was there, maybe expecting somebody to still be on that angle, but it didn't really matter. Chronicle landing every single shot placed in front of him. But as said, that still was a bonus. Even though it was clean, there is going to be a purchase back up for Na'Vi. Dimensional Drift online. Now, we have seen Yoru played by Angel on this map a few times before, but definitely not with the consistency we've seen recently from other teams. This time, though, a little bit quicker in their take of mid, but as you can see, Fnatic are not fighting for this whatsoever.
No, they've given up a lot of control, and again, a different Viper wall. Despite Viper being on B, it's a much more aggressive one inside A main, blocking off a lot of space. If you're the attackers and you're not inside A main, as soon as that wall goes up, you've lost so much control of the map. There's just going to be a trap left to catch them as they push up, and these things are going to be interesting to see in the second half, where Navi don't have that wall to work around. They don't have those setups and what they bring to play instead. In round 4, it looks like a very direct approach to the B site. Gate crash thrown out from mid. So this is going to get him in position to TP onto the boxes and potentially even catch that Viper off guard. It's all timing based. Apparently, Artis is way ahead of it.
Even still, Alpha, he's going to get wrapped on. There was Angel. It was actually the fake out that got tagged initially. But I'm just going to go looking for information, just try and clear everything out on those backlines, even go potentially back through mid. May have even seen Durka going through the spawn. I'm not necessarily sure. It seems like Sugetsu's already holding for it, though.
Oh, there's the flash. That's going to give it away. Maybe for Durka, you know, it's the right play in a lot of situations, but the element of surprise gone. The flash is perfect! That double that secures main, gets ult online, and now they look to the site. Gate crash in, no flashes. But he can reveal the information. That's all this is about. One on the backside spotted. I don't think he saw Zipban somehow, but there's the info. Eventually connected. They can start the defuse, bait them into open fights, but Durka's gone down. Chronicle does well, protecting the president on the defuse, and Leo comes out to finish the final kill. Neck and neck, 4 rounds in. Fnatic have got some fight to this defense.
Oh, yeah. And that was a full-on retake as well after the openers. That was the thing. The way that round started for Na'Vi was fantastic. You have the initial opener from Artis, the 1-2 punch of Angel, but it's Durka. It is Durka, and that 1v2 in the backlines, they were ready for him, they were watching for him, and he still manages to get both of them in quick succession. A huge start for someone who's had a resurgence. Like, he started off very slow. I definitely think a lot of people were starting to ask questions, and that's the crazy thing. There's so much depth to this roster that it's difficult to ever find someone to blame, but a lot of people are looking at Durka. As said, the last couple of weeks, he's been back to form and has started this map off strong.
Let's have Fnatic a little bit of damage round 2, good connections. And the last 2 have left Navi in a spot with just pistols. Cosmic Divide for Xiao. Zipan has his Hunter's Fury as well. Artis, the only man with the rifle, and he's dropped alone. That rifle irretrievable at this point, and it's a wall bang, not even off the back of a reveal. Just having spotted him. A devastating way to lose the only real chance you have to do clean damage on range. They can still be nasty with the Sheriffs, but those shots need to be precise. That's a good one to start.
Chronicle's lucky to be alive. Oh, aggression from Darker though, and he might just get both. Chronicle? Yeah, Leo's got a team kill, but we're just going to try and ignore that. Somehow that's brought it back though into a competitive position. Angel's got himself a rifle. Leo almost needs to try and fix this. He's going to be able to hear the steps already of Angel, and he may just catch the rotation. Timing here is going to be everything, because Alpha is on his way back around. I don't think Xiao's necessarily going to be expecting this, and he won't spot Leo either. It's going to be left all onto the IGL. 1 versus 3 to try and at least do some damage here.
Well, this round would be a heaven sent with 13 seconds as he goes for the second plant. Having been spammed down originally, revealed, hit by the vulnerable of the snake bite, caught by a bit of decay, and now peeked out from the side. Really wasn't a lot of ways out of there for Angel. They had him surrounded and dealt with quickly, 3-2. And after a pistol round win and a follow-up, NAVI find themselves behind by a round.
Yeah, you're seeing the way that they're able to be proactive on this defense. Okay, sure, there was a few shenanigans in the mix, but it's again just what Durka is able to do with these aggressive plays on that Yoru. Seems to be having an absolute field day.
Happens to the best of us, because it happened to Leo.
The thing is though, coming into this round is where the ults start to come online for either side. Zipan and Leo both having the Hunter's Fury. Blade Storm as well for Artis is always going to be terrifying. And also, one of the ults that, for once, is going to have mass impact is that Cosmic Divide. Because, yeah, you don't have yourself a Viper screen, but every time you get that ult, you're going to get it for a little bit.
Hey, maybe that's the idea behind putting it on Xiao. Right? It's almost as good as it's a Viper wall every 2 rounds. Maybe he's having a good game.
Except he's having a great game.
Then I guess you don't really need the ult, right? Just send him out to do some more of that.
He's like, guys, I got another 3K, we have the ult. It's like, yeah, you kind of killed everyone.
A slower approach to the attack. Again, we saw this in the pistol. Waiting for Fnatic's proactivity, for the overpeaks to come through. There's no pressure on this setup. And the other thing we haven't mentioned really about NAVI, the thing that hits me the most, some of my favorite plays and favorite strats on this map have revolved around a KO. And coming in without one, it can make things a lot more difficult and running into players like Alpha's setup. Curious to see if we have issues there later. Durka. This is a nasty position, not one you'll see occupied all too often at any level of gameplay. He's TP'd out to yellow. Although there's a decoy running around the left side, there's no one really to challenge him up close. Still catching the kill onto Artis from miles away. Flash is good, it's great in fact. And now everything left onto Zipan, a 1 versus 4, the spike not planted. They have a good idea where he is now with the push out of Durka. They've boxed him in as well.
Yeah, this is looking like prime Durka at the moment. He is just running right around the server. There is nothing that anyone on the NAVI squad could do. He's getting an opener, he's getting out of there, and then goes back for a little bit more just a few seconds later in each different circumstance. And that's the thing, that is the real value of this Yoru, is he's still able to basically reposition similarly to what we saw from his chamber in the past.
And one other aspect of the Viper as well, because this is the Viper screen that's in play that blocks out Tube. It's the same one we saw on site that can cover out mid control, but thrown a little bit to the left, so you have no control over that deep angle. The thing is, you're just not going to suspect a player in a round like that with high stakes to go walking up, take that nasty little position, but the benefit of the Yoru, he had a gate crash to get out of there no matter what, and the fact that is you're very rarely going to see 2 players swinging that angle to trade it. You get the one, you get out, and from there the advantage was clear, although he went about extending it even further. This is a timeout from NAVI as they look to solve these problems early on. I think a lot of that has just revolved around the space Fnatic are able to take. In the pistol, they took B. They weren't really able to connect on it, but that's how a pistol works when your opponent executes the other side. Since then, though, once rifles have gotten in their hand, there's been next to nothing to challenge them.
No, they managed to flawlessly win round number 3. And since then, it has looked pretty easy for them, I'll be honest. It does definitely help that Durka is just murdering everyone before they can get anywhere near the site. And in this round, at least, we're not expecting a mass response. However, Artis likely to throw in the Blade Storm, try and do an extra little bit of damage, and we have just seen Angel looking pretty vocal. So maybe something that he believes can get them back in especially going a little bit more direct. I think with what Durka has been doing with these cheeky, aggressive plays, playing as a unit, moving as a squad, gives you a lot less likelihood of being caught out.
Who's next?
Well, the ult popped. A minute 30 on the clock as Angel looks to move towards the site. Not a ton of information to work with, and well, now a little bit of danger. Oh, coming out of the ult, just tried facing him. That hasn't worked out according to plan, and now the response from Durka. They've already got the advantage, but they're not happy with it. Hunter's Fury thrown through for even more. All things considered, Navi might be happy with the amount they've been able to force out of Fnatic. They had a lot of ults online coming into this round, and with mostly pistols, they're able to take those ults out of their hand.
I guess the counter is they've also used a couple of their own.
That's true.
Like, to get no kills in a round where you use Dimensional Drift and a Blade Storm is definitely not ideal, even if the ults are traded out on the other side. And if we're being honest, Dirk hasn't really needed them much thus far. He's playing an aggressive game, but a safe one at that. He's still going to go in for the further fights, looking to try and get himself even more in terms of that ult coming back. He used it this round as another Andaluthia flawless. And he's already getting close to halfway to the ult again.
It's got to be so frustrating as well. You hear the gate crash activated because he fakes the TP and a shock dart lands seconds later. It makes perfect sense. You threw utility in, he got out of there early. Nope, he's coming back to fight. And, well, yeah, seeing that from the perspective of Sagetsu, I don't think there was much he could do. I'm very surprised that Fnatic decided to commit so much to it, but after the pause, they're making Navi feel like they're outclassed. But that was with pistols. Navi can fall back on that mentally. Now they get the rifles out and this big old gun, the operator in play for Artis. Again, though, that wall has been blocking vision, not just on middle, but in tube as well. So that early information and early fights won't be there for Navi, and Dirk has taken advantage of it with an off-angle position. And although he doesn't hit his shot, there's no punish with the gate crash.
Yeah, that's the thing. He has not been greedy in any of the fights he's been taking. It really is incredibly disciplined Yoru play out from Durka right now. On the other side of things, can't say the same. Angel's been very aggressive, and he is not prepared for the reswing. Even still, it's only going to be a trade. Chronicle has gone down in response. But again, a lot of what we're expecting from this attack side is having those few smokes and then having Angel there to take the space. Well, Angel's already gone, and they've got a minute left.
Well, that's it. Durka was showing him he's a little bit predictable. Sending the decoy out, and Durka just walks straight past it. Taking the fight on Angel. Leaving them with an advantage, and now he sends out his own on the back of a flash. No, flash not committed just yet. He's holding on to that for a little bit later. In fact, it looks like he's about to get a push right up on top of him. Sagetsu down, but the trade comes in quickly. Advantage still sitting with Navi with that spike down. Shao manages to find Alpha just moments after the ult, and the shock dart for damage, but it won't get enough. Leo needs to find his kill on the zip ban, and there it is. His shock darts have been deadly for either side. There's still enough time to get this one done, and a position that they can manage to defuse on just behind that pillar. The orb going to be used, delaying it with the grab well. Time's still there as they attempt it one more time. Here come the spams.
No.
Not quite on, and it's already too late. It's gone. Leo confirms it with the kills, but I don't think they could deny that anyways. Fnatic have stolen the round out, leaving Navi trailing on 2.
That's a painful one. Again, a lot of the fights were going their way. You see Shao with an effective lurk into middle. Zipan kind of gets caught in no man's land, just being forced out by so much different utility that just trying to get away ends up going down to a second shock dart again. Leo, the shock dart king. We've spoken about it. On this map in particular, just unbelievable, but more and more and more we're seeing the value of having a Viper. Post plants would have been wonderful there. And that is almost Artis dead immediately. 5 HP.
Toe tapped. Luckily, the updraft saved his life and the utility that came alongside it. Trading out that HP for a little bit of control. It's interesting as well in that replay. I've never seen someone look so upset at getting a 3K in a round. Leo looked genuinely frustrated. There's Durka after the reposition, catching Zipban on the mid swing. And the 5 HP Artis about to step into a firing squad on B. You've got Alpha staring him down, and that shouldn't be too difficult of a kill. He's got to, I mean, you'd think he's got to be so careful. Artis on 5 health, playing it as if he's got 150, and Sagetsu's got one with the Sheriff. Damage has been done. It's not an easy round to convert, but this is one of the best chances they've had.
Wow, a little bit depressing, if we're being honest. Durka, though, still alive. And with this many players tagged up, It's like a kid in a candy shop, but it'll be interesting to see if he actually goes through it as well. He will now. Has every single piece of information the team could ever need. 3 players already spotted. In fact, I wonder what he's going to try and attempt here. Just playing in front of that screen already. You can see the Viper util, but Angel does manage to win the fight. It's another incredibly low player.
Yeah, that's it. Sugetsu and Angel, a sliver of health. Sugetsu's quickly dealt with, so is Angel. A headshot. In fact, it's all down to Xiao's Sheriff. 5 kills on the board, 3 more to tally up. The time, you can see how slow Fnatic are approaching this. They're waiting for the Toxins to come back up just to lock him out entirely. Still a Gravwell to work with, and that's going to buy him a bit of time, but they've gotten it halfway already. The Toxins go down, but every shot needs to land. There's the first. Can buy himself another battle, another duel, and that's where it ends. Fnatic 7-2 in the lead. This is their map pick, and it looks like it. They're dominating.
Yeah, I think every single team that is currently within the Alpha group is going, wait, so second place plays third place, right? Is seeing Durka play like this and currently has their cheeks as clenched as they've ever been. It has been a world-class performance. And then there's the fact that Leo's also 10-2, having an absolute field day. Still waiting to see some sort of response. The Artist-Angel combination definitely hasn't been too fruitful just yet. But they are going to have themselves a buy on the ball once more, still having that Hunter's Fury. More importantly, though, Durka's just gone walking down mid.
This is a bit more of a conventional spot. Chronicle almost serving as a bait. Trying to spot them out on the aggression, nothing there. Until there is Xiao. Very late in the round, peeking out, clearing every pixel bit by bit. He suspected the push. He's got himself one for it. Second gate crash used up by Durka. No more to fall back on. This will be for the B site, suspecting a late play there. You can already see rotations from Leo as well. And the read is perfect from Fnatic. I don't know what they've seen on A. If steps were heard by Durka's spot. Now he has to give that up, you'd imagine.
Will eventually fall back. Second man advantage gathered up, and almost a good flash in the end. It's going to have to be Durka going absolutely huge from the backline. It's going to drop the spike. There's still so many players here. Rotation eventually comes through, but he's now going to be stunned up and nobody able to really capitalize off it. NAVI definitely have the information of where these players currently are, but you never know with Durka what he's going to be able to achieve. They've just gone swinging around the outside, though. They still know that he's here. It is Angel. A double to convert another round for NAVI. Finally, they break back onto the board.
It's been a while, but yeah, they've got a round under their belt on the side of NAVI, and with the pistol under their belt too, look, it can end up being an okay scoreline for them. The 7-5 possible, but they've got to string together these rounds. They come in, Dimensional Drift and Hunter's Fury to work with, and a clear direction off rip. That Yoru ult is going to be used to break presence on B to get through to the site, maybe even trying to target Alfier and take out his utility. And you can't really do it with a KO knife when you don't have a KO, so instead try to do it with the rifles in play. Angel spotting out a lot of info. That's site clear. He has got Spike in his hands. I don't know if that's going to play into it, make him a bit more cautious. Apparently not. Alpha drop, traps down, and plant secured.
Yeah, another one for Artist as well. Seems like they're starting to wake up a little bit. Leo's still here, ducking out with an operator. Probably not the ideal gun for this sort of scenario. And they know exactly where he is. I thought for a second he was going to win that, but Xiao's a safe pair of hands. A 2 versus 5. Opportunity still with Leo hitting shots like this. You can never really doubt when he's in this level of form, but clearing these players out is not going to be easy. There's not really a reason for them to overpeak. There's Sugetsu still in middle as well. A late lurk, same as the prior round. Just try and make sure there's no escape and no chance of them getting any level of a defusal. And while eventually they'll swing in, and it's going to be the easy double kill coming out for NAVI.
Yeah, fantastic use of their ultimates in this round. You could see from before the barriers even went up, they had an idea, and this idea couldn't have worked any better. As soon as they take down Alpha here, that B side is taken, and it all relied on them finding value on the side of Fnatic, going for flanks, flanking with an operator. It's not the ideal weapon for it. I think he was somewhat lucky the cam wasn't spotting him, but it didn't matter. Xiao's still able to connect that shot, and then you're all retaken from the same angle. Not really going to work out. Especially in a round where Navi dumped those ults to get control. They still have all of their utility for those late fights. 7-4. One more round to play for. It was a dominant start from Fnatic. 7-2 up. But Navi might be able to bridge that gap. 7-5 scoreline, not quite as devastating as it could have been. Aggression out of Durka, but it's not as much as we saw before with this wall. Although that might change the next time those toxins go up.
My camera is destroyed.
Well, Durka again, looking for a little bit of aggression.
I have the spike.
Of course, for Navi in this matchup, losing 2-0, I believe actually qualifies Heretics and puts them up against Gentlemates in the standings. Needing a 2-0 of their own. Definitely keeps things interesting, but I'm sure they won't want to do that. He's actually TP'd in! I didn't think for a second he was going to stick that one, but Alpha's just been destroyed.
Yeah, the flash was absolutely perfect. Alpha couldn't see a thing. Boasters dropped as well. And this site wide open. We said how hard it is to hold on to control once Alpha falls. And with no Viper screen in play on this B site, there's next to no holding on. Op shot from Artis seems to be sealing the fate of Fnatic at a 7-5 scoreline. Durka also going to be dropped, and Leo doesn't stand a chance following that. 7-5 we go. Navi, they've really recovered this half nicely.
Yeah. No, a very good resurgence from them. This was looking like they were about to be absolutely blitzed. But I think Ardis starting to step up a little bit, moves himself up to the top of the board on his team. And also just some of these set plays. Like, it is just the riskiest of gameplay coming out from Angel. At all opportunities, he is very happy to go down if it gives his team the space. And I think that's exactly what it did for them here. It's going to be interesting, though, because now they go onto the defensive side, and historically that's where we've always talked about this double duelist being problematic. But normally you have these site anchors. You have people on that Cypher, on that Viper, to delay, to slow. Now you can do similar things, I would say, with Xiao, being able to slow pushes, have a little bit more utility in that respect. But I want to see if they've got any plans, any aggressive plans. And well, fighting into Tube might just be one of them.
I must wait a moment.
Part of their early half plan on the defense. Makes sense that the offense is going to be much the same. Some decent tags as well with the wall bangs coming through. Zipan and Ardis have taken a lot of damage. Ardis a little bit more now with that shot connected from Alpha. Fnatic will set their sights on A. Wall goes down. You can see how much easier it is to push into this site for the Fnatic squad. At least taking the control towards the site itself, planting for main as well. Although Xiao seems to be swinging wide around the side. Looked like he had a chance for a moment, but well, I guess they pushed him back with the util.
Zipan's lost the battle as well, putting this heavily in the advantage of Fnatic. Although Sugetsu at least gets one. I don't know if there's going to be too much more. Xiao still survived for an unbelievable amount of time, but eventually Alpha is there as he will put his fourth onto the board, and Fnatic extend their lead a little further.
Oh, attacking side, pistol secured. And the follow-up should be that little bit easier. Alpha feeling activated in this round too. My goodness. Finding 4 kills early on. You probably wish it was anyone else on the team farming those orbs. But, well, 2 away from the neural theft, Tom.
Hey, they're winning the rounds. I don't think they're going to care too much.
That's true. Hold fire, Alpha. Let me get it. Yeah, maybe you're not making that call.
Ardis at least is going to have a Marshal. We talk about the days of old. This man was the original in terms of that aggressive, run it down gameplay. And he started it off on the Jet. Wasn't a part of the Angel team at that point.
Here.
Played for a little team called Fish 123. We'll see if he can get anything in this round, because the rest don't really have too much. You got a Sheriff in the hands of Angel, who's already taken quite a lot of control. He's by the dropout of Tube, but again, it's sort of how much would he even be able to get from this position, especially with Fnatic being so patient. That's a nice shot, though, and that's Boaster out. A lot of the time, I think he may have even been holding on to some of the utility to try and get them in. Angel, though, on the reswing is going to get nothing.
It was a little ambitious.
It has to be.
In a round where everyone's got rifles to work with. On the other side, not on your side. Artis has picked up a second now on middle, and I'm not too sure how he got that one, if I'm being honest. We'll get that one in a replay later for sure. Guys magnetized ahead, but so is Alpha by the looks of things. Clean, but he's tagged down to 31. Another well-placed shot coming out of Artis. And with 14 seconds left, they've got to be speedy, making their way into this site, but Artis doesn't know where Alpha had gone. Element of surprise, catching another kill for Alpha and leaving Sugetsu all by his lonesome, Sheriff in hand, and not a lot of hope. I think going down to the spike might be the end game.
Yeah, I think he was originally trying to find some sort of weaponry, pushing all the way down the bottom of mid, but didn't really see anything in the end. And now you can see the players on Fnatic are just not really giving him a fight, clearing their flank, making sure that he hasn't been able to get in behind them. And now everybody trained in, trying to spot this man out. For Durka, obviously normally you'd want to try and throw him over or throw his gun over to a pistol player, but they are not surviving at this stage. He was hoping for an orb as he's only a couple away from having that dimensional drift. But for Sugetsu, as you said, it's just going to be going down to the spike. A 4-round gap now created. And if NAVI don't have a response here, we might be quickly moving our way towards Ascent.
That was very nearly a phenomenal round coming out of NAVI, in no small part due to this. The amount of time that Chronicle had to react to that play, that player miles away from him, and then half obscured by a wall. I'm not sure I can fault him for not connecting that on time. And that as well, a little jump scare for him. Well, Alpha's been doing incredibly well in this half. Fnatic 9-5. We had the question on the desk earlier with Shadow. Does an IGL need to frag? Well, Fnatic are 4 rounds ahead. Both just got 1 kill. Think that might seal it. Shadow was right.
He's also helping himself out a little bit with that comment, but let's ignore that.
I don't know what you mean, Tom. I don't know why he wouldn't say it was the truth. He had a great map earlier on as well. I think Magnum would agree. But 9-5, looking for double digits.
Shadow would as well, just because of the last week. Either way, it's a little bit of aggression for the defense, but they haven't really been able to find too much. It's so patient from the side of Fnatic. They are waiting for somebody to aggress, someone to make a mistake. And in the meantime, slowly garnering up map control. I think their tube presence thus far has been a problem. You can only see Xiao trying to adapt to this.
There's definitely a snake bite there. Canceling out any chance of utility out of Zip, and Recon going through. The pressure's on. Doors opening back up. Players on site having so many angles to consider, but Fnatic with 30 seconds left on the clock, they pumped the brakes yet again. And from the perspective of the other squad, it's got to be frustrating. You go out to check if they're still here, if there's any players around, you lose your life. Xiao just had that happen. Although Chronicle taken down, seemed to equalize things a little bit. 12 seconds left. Spike goes in for the plant. They finally dealt with Zipbound, but Artis is still here. No angle to deny, and the 24 HP very nearly loses his life. You want to see him wait for Sugetsu. He's on his way around to main. That off angle could help them out. In fact, Sugetsu had the chance, but Durka ripped his head clean off. And now he's looking for another target, finding it with great success. Double digits for Fnatic and double the score line of their opponents.
Yeah, it's one of those rounds where NAVI had the right read. They had 4 players within the site, but then just the battles, you could see that, I think it was only really Artis winning any of them, and he was on 24 HP when he took his first kill. To have a stack up like that and get barely anything for it. And again, we're seeing Durka just farm. 21 and 10 right now on the board. An unbelievable showing from the Yoru, and he's got his ultimate online ready for this next round if they need it. The thing is, though, it's not going to be a pretty picture for NAVI. The purchase not looking particularly good, as they'll likely be coming in with just a few pistols for this one, and unfortunately for them, the ults aren't even particularly close.
Yeah, not a lot to help them out. Who knows on the side of NAVI if they can pick up a Blade Storm on Artis. And in some rounds, you'd even see them go for the Force buy up on him now, the hero rifle. Maybe even just give the man a Marshal, after what we saw a few rounds ago. There's lots of hope for this squad, and realistically, I'll always fall back on this being Fnatic's map pick. I think these two teams in particular against each other, I see them taking their home turf and bringing us to a decider.
Well, the thing is, NAVI are quite well known for losing their map, but it's normally if it's the first map. Just whichever map is the first map, NAVI will almost definitely lose.
They're big fans of BBL.
Yeah. But I think they know that like Marcus is watching and they want to give him a panic attack every single day, you know? He makes them film content, so they create content from him panicking.
It makes sense.
I did the same.
Relationship. Yeah. Knife up and over. And as I said, a big factor of a lot of these attacking sides when it comes to Breeze. I think I didn't even say attacking side, I said plays in general, but specifically on the attack, the value of having agents like Viper and KO, to me, it's tenfold what we're seeing on the other side. Not to say that Navi's comp, I think, as I said the other day, Vlad made a great point that not every comp works for everyone. It's not a one-glove-fits-all kind of scenario. You have to find what works for you. For Navi,
I don't think this one works for anyone.
Yeah, right? But hey, if Angels picked it up, there's got to be a reason. Not a great start with the pistols. Double shut down on elbow. They found the information. It is a B hit, but there's not much they can do to react to that. All pressure on Artis. And, well, he is eliminated before he even gets a chance.
Yeah, he had a 50-50 chance of looking towards the fake out, and he guessed wrong. Zipan now just hoping for anything, and oh no, okay. Leo is a merciful, merciful man, because there was no bullets left in that gun. He would have got knifed.
I know what you're thinking. Did he fire 5 shots or 6? Well, I don't really care. He was getting knifed if it wasn't for that swing. Looky. His reputation is saved. In the end, the Luthia flawless, though. It's a bit of a statement from Fnatic. There'll be no mistakes on their side up against these pistols. And with the rifles in hand, Navi have one last chance to stop Fnatic from running away with this. It's already pretty far gone.
Yeah, and their rounds, when they have been winning, have been so clean. Like, every single time. They've been building up a pretty ludicrous amount of credits to think that they won't close out just a couple of rounds seems unlikely. This is why there was save credits. Artis, oh, he's not going to get out of there. It's a one and done. Okay, Durka has been getting probably about 40% of all of Fnatic's kills, so maybe it's technically taken down a couple of players. But I don't know if they're going to see it that way.
Say the same for Artis, though. He's been doing a lot of the heavy lifting on NAVI. Now he's down and out, so equal trades. Well, that seems to put Fnatic a step ahead from what we've seen so far. And it being the attack side, this map now thins out. It's the same size, but the numbers you've got to defend it, not quite there. That's a free kill onto Sagetsu, from Sagetsu, pardon me, onto Boaster. Just a swing out on mid, catches a Viper, I guess setting up a lineup, or just holding the angle for his team, but, well, you can see him clearly behind that box.
Look how far Alpha's managed to get. They're wary that he's still in tube because he's been there every single round. He's just managed to walk out onto the side without anybody even noticing. And then it's a little bit of a bait from his teammate just to give him the freebie of a kill. Nice shot from Zipan, at least, and a second one added to the death toll. It leaves Leo a clutch scenario. 15 and 6 so far. He needs 3, and he's not even going to get the first. His opposing Swede will take him out, and finally, Navi have their first defense round.
Is it too little, too late?
Probably.
11-6. Massive margin to get back into it. Dash wasn't even online there, wasn't activated. So Artis couldn't use it to get out. Nice attempt with the updraft, but not quite enough. Zipan, beautiful little shots out of him. Those first 2, we didn't see this from his POV, but just as nice. The gap is large. The Navi will look to fight their way back through, and, well, for a moment I thought we were going to have a pause coming in, but no. It looks like they're going to buckle down and do it. Operator in hand, Blade Storm to work with, Hunter's Fury as well. A ton for Navi in their back pocket. But it's not like Fnatic don't have some ultimates of their own, and, well, pushing into a site with a KO. When the knife hits can be good. With the ultimate in the back pocket, it can be free.
Again, last round, the biggest threat was taken out almost immediately. I'll see if they'll be able to deal with Durka again. You can see already that aggressive position, the exact spot that Artis got a kill from last round has already been cleared with the drones, so Fnatic are trying to react to him, and I can understand why. With how he's been playing, Alpha, he's straight back there again. I said, in tube, he's been a menace. They've been watching for him all the time. This time, he heads in with an operator, and immediately after this, Fnatic look to just execute. Move straight through almost immediately. Durka is trying to clear these angles, but he hasn't actually managed to spot anybody within this site. It's only going to be Xiao here, just trying to catch someone off guard, and while Angel is going to go down in the end.
Xiao's in a nice spot to follow up on as they attempt to push the Hunter's Fury. Durka getting a little ahead of himself, has given 1 kill back, but it's still a 2 versus 4. The advantage clearly in favor of Fnatic. The only downside is not having planted that spike just yet. But even as these Navi players move towards the site to attempt to deny it or to defuse it later, Poster has an off angle.
Alpha just ran up.
Alpha just runs. You know, sometimes you got to take the fights. Can't hide away.
I would love, I don't know if he would have said anything, but I just like the idea. What are you guys waiting around for?
Yeah.
Just go straight in again. Just gets that kill like
pulls
it's
up to
nothing.
the site, swinging like a duelist. Well, he has every right to. 16 and 8. The guy's KD's off the charts. He's feeling it with the offer. Oh, yeah, that's a little unfortunate for Angel.
Guys, what are you aiming for? He's there. You knew he was there, didn't you? 12 and 6. A blip on the radar, it seems, as Na'Vi once again are coming in with a weaker purchase. Bladestone will pad the gap at least a little bit. It seems like Ardis wants to try and take this round into his own hands. We saw this with the Marshall a few rounds ago, that when he's given the opportunity to be aggressive, he definitely can cause teams issues, but for the most part, Fnatic have had all of that and more.
A very slow approach from Fnatic. 1 pick and they can pop that neural theft, find out where their opponents are, make a decision on the fly. Always a problem with someone like a Yoru around. That flash perfect.
Nice.
And the updraft from Ardis connects the kill. If not, it would have been Angel trading it out anyways. Now they reset for the A side control, but Durka's taken some of his own. Decoy on its way out. Good tag and good follow-up. Zipman thought he had a fight on his hands, but the decoy kept him in position long enough for the ult to work out. Only Sagetsu left to make this one work, and the neural theft got the assist at least. 13-6 on map number 1. Breeze was Fnatic's pick, and they played it like it. What a dominant scoreline. And after those 7 straight rounds, it felt like their hands were on the reins. Little bump in the road, but they got there in the end.
Yeah, it was an incredibly clean victory. Luckily for Na'Vi, Ascent is next, but we'll see if they can turn the tide.
I know a place that will break you into 1,000 pieces. Stay away from them. Stay away from Lorca, Paco, and Picasso. Don't ask about Lola. Ay, Caballo Grande. Ay, Dolor de Nieve. But in spite of everything, it occurs to you to visit Andalusia. Don't say I didn't warn you. Be careful of the Andalusian crush.
Hey guys, it's Jimmy Lin. In this series, I'm going to walk you through Attack on Pearl. Watch out for the stairs, clear this angle. You're going to be able to fight this.
Red Bull gives you wings.